What's up? What's up? Happy Monday. How we doing? How we doing, chat? Let me just see, make sure Instagram comes on. If you are just joining, those of you that already know us well. This is Mogul Moves Weekly. It is our bi-weekly live stream covering everything from box office biggest moves to the industry's power plays. And this is episode 38, actually, of Mogul Moves Weekly. My name's Luigi. I'm your host. And this is Josh, my co-host. Say hi, Josh. Oh, there we go. There's Instagram.
Hello. Hope you had a good weekend.
All right, let's get into it. Let's see. Where are we at? There we are. We got our first little segment here talking about weekend performance. Talk to us, Josh. I hear Yumi and Tuscany was a sleeper hit.
Did you now? Yeah, it was mostly a story of the holdovers again, kind of the same as last weekend. We will touch on, like most of the movers, the new releases this weekend. Yumi and Tuscany did okay. It underperformed. It was supposed to be number 3, but it fell to number 4 for the weekend at 8 million. And then everything else is like pretty small stuff. The BTS World Tour concert video was in theaters this weekend. It did 2.4 million. Exit 8, which we've been talking about, watching trailers for, did 1.4 million on a pretty limited release, under 500 theaters. So pretty strong numbers there. And a few I'm not too familiar with. Faces of Death, 1.3 million. Hunting Matthew Nichols, 600,000. Hamlet, which we watched a trailer for, 190,000. And the Christophers was super limited. It was only in 4 theaters, but it did 80,000. So it pulled in 20K per theater. It's probably the typical. I think when it's just 4 theaters, it's 2 in New York and 2 in LA. I can't remember which ones.
Yeah, that makes sense. But is that pretty good performance-wise for 4 theaters? I guess it kind of is, right?
Yeah, 20,000 per theater. Like, even at the top of the list, like Super Mario Galaxy did 16,000 per theater. Obviously, across a lot more theaters. Project Hail Mary did 6,000 per theater. So. Yeah, that's a pretty strong opening. Probably a good sign if you're keeping an eye on that movie and maybe as a potential pickup for the Mogul game.
Yeah, definitely. All right, moving on. So our holdovers, I think you guys probably already know. Mario, Project Hail Mary, the drama.
Yeah, something for everyone here. If you haven't caught these yet, they're all very good. You saw Mario over the weekend. And you said you liked it.
I did. I liked it. Contrary to a lot of critique of it, I think it's like around the story, and it's like I'm not going to Mario because I'm like expecting like some deep, profound like lesson to be learned. I mean, I'm like,
it's kind of like we talked about. I think we talked about this last week. Just like how it lends itself well to like a universe, and how there's a lot of potential for expansion there. And just kind of like as a universe, it seems like they're still kind of nailing that.
Yeah, it was a fun movie to watch in theaters. Definitely like a lot of like jazzy effects, and it felt like we were immersed in the world, which I thought was kind of the point of the whole movie, right? So
yeah, I saw the drama. It was good. Everyone go see it if you like stressful movies. Yeah. You have a tolerance for stress.
Mike in the chat says Mario doesn't deserve the hate. I fully agree, Mike. I think the haters are going to hate. People are going to hate on literally anything. So like, can't really listen to them. You have to just like make decisions for yourself. That's what I'm learning.
Part of it is probably like how well the first movie did. It was kind of being, I don't know, probably held up to too high a standard for a movie like that. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see where that franchise goes.
Yeah. Do we know how it's tracking against the first version or the first installation?
It's at 308 million total gross. I think that's domestic.
Mm-hmm. Because globally, I think the last one made $1 billion.
I think so.
Yeah.
It did is it? It did. The first one did 574 million domestic, 1.3 billion global.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, that being said, what are your picks, holds, and drops for the Mogul game this week? I think I agree. Christopher's and Exit 8 are my two picks if I had to pick.
I think that's a good call.
A lot of stuff, like a lot of people are like excited about Exit 8. I feel like.
Yeah, I think both of those are getting like nice buzz. Exit 8's getting good buzz. And the Christophers, like when movies go like limited to wide, sometimes people kind of forget about them, forget that they're coming. So that might be like a good low key pick. And I think Lee Cronin's The Mummy is kind of the obvious, top of the list pick for the coming week. So probably a worthwhile one to grab. Holding, I think I'm sticking with Project Hail Mary for at least another week. But I think any of Mario, Project Hail Mary, maybe the drama. The drama probably falls off this week.
Yeah, I'd be willing to bet that's the case for the drama.
Yeah, there's a good chance Mario's number one for the next week, and Project Hail Mary could be number two.
It's impossible to like not be spoiled for the drama. Like it's like I immediately knew, but my like sister-in-law told me like one detail of the movie, and I was like, I already know what happens then.
Yeah, I'm not on social media, so that is my secret to not having it spoiled. But I did go see it first week. Yeah, at this point, if you want to see it and haven't had it spoiled, then you're doing a good job.
Wow, Josh, you're not on any social media. That's actually like how freeing that must be.
I'm trying to think where I get like Twitch.
Oh, Twitch. Okay.
No Twitter. Like Discord a little bit. Reddit a little bit.
Okay.
No, like proper social media.
Search those. I feel like they're not serving content to you. You're like you'd have to proactively search out for spoilers.
Yeah, or our CEO and COO. Try and spoil it for me.
That's true. All right. Let's move on to the next segment, our trending topics for the day/week and weekend. If you guys haven't seen this article in Variety yet, it's really interesting. Basically, it's just saying that, everyone's saying that Gen Z has killed the movie theaters, but it's actually proving to be the opposite. In fact, Gen Zers are driving to the box office now, and I think like it's not just about going to the movie theaters, because I do think like overall movie going, although what we heard this morning was that we're like kind of tracking 23% more people over last year, which is interesting. Yeah. But what this article is saying is that Gen Z will really only show up if it's an event. So like a great example is the BTS Army or the BTS movie. If it feels like it's like worth their time, these kind of like mid-budget dramas, these things they're going to watch later and they're going to skip those. But the real kind of headline is the theaters aren't dead. It's just that the bar is set way higher.
Yeah, I think so. And there's probably so many more movies being released. But there's a lot of, it's a good year for big events. Like there's a lot of like big event releases coming this year. So, and like you said, yeah, like up 23% compared to last year, year to date box office wise. And we have some crazy movies coming. So I would say it should be like, I don't know, 2026 is, I think, going to be like a real return to form for theaters. And Gen Z is helping drive that.
Yeah, which is great to hear, because like you never know like the future of movie going and theater going, like, but it's good to see like the trend is actually that they are going, and really just Hollywood needs to kind of catch up to that, right? Like it's like a solvable problem. You just have to create good shit.
Yeah, just a new model.
Yeah, exactly. Moving on, if you guys didn't hear about anything coming from, if you guys are living under a rock, then you don't know that Devil Wears Prada 2 is coming out soon. This is just kind of like a smattering of some of the partnerships and marketing that's being done. AMC is doing a purse-shaped popcorn bucket. Grey Goose is doing a drink that's specially modeled after Miranda's coffee order. L'Oreal did a campaign, Diet Coke did a campaign, Lady Gaga and Doechii released a single for the latest trailer. Like, it is full court press on marketing for this movie, and I think we're going to see some good results from it.
Yeah, rightly so. It's Disney, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean it's very ripe for marketing.
Yeah.
Really very like crazy marketable stars right now between Anne Hathaway and Emily Blunt and of course Meryl Streep.
And if you guys don't know, I don't know if you guys follow like TikTok kind of comedians, but there is a comedian named Caleb Heron who is like he's like a podcaster / comedian who is in it as, I'm sure, you know, gay assistant number 1 or whatever. I'm really excited to see him because I'm like, oh, his star's rising. He's going to be famous, or he is already famous in my world, but he's going to be like mainstream famous soon, I feel like.
If Luigi says so, then I trust it.
Yeah. I'm right about this. I am the oracle. The other thing is the biggest picture on this little slide is that there was a Vogue cover featuring Anna Wintour and Meryl Streep.
Who's the one on the left?
Anna Wintour. Do you know who that is?
Designer?
No, Josh. Anna Wintour is the famed editor-in-chief of Vogue, and Devil Wears Prada is loosely based on her. So like she's like known to be like a real like ice queen, and like, you know, everyone in fashion does what she tells them to do basically, because she's been
she is the devil.
She is Vogue, just like Miranda is Runway. And so yeah, they did a surprise cover shoot. Like no one knew about it until it came out yesterday. They really kept it under wraps, and then they also did an accompanying video, which we'll watch right now.
Nice.
Don't I know you from somewhere?
You do look familiar. Maybe the Chanel show at the Grand Palais?
No.
The Oscars? Maybe the Met Gala?
Definitely not.
I can't help but feel we have met before.
Maybe you've seen my work.
Maybe. I don't care if it's not coming out until next year.
I want it now.
Cool shoes.
Nice boots.
So yeah, I think it's pretty special, the fact that they were able to do that, because one, I think Meryl Streep like doesn't really love the limelight, and neither does Anna. Like she's like, you know, she doesn't. She's more of a behind the scenes kind of character, and so the fact that they got them both to do this and do the cover is pretty huge.
Yeah, crazy promo. If that doesn't get you in the mood for Devil Wears Prada too.
Exactly. Next up, some news from Coachella, some movie news from Coachella. Sabrina Carpenter did what was essentially like a giant kind of ode to Hollywood. She turned her Coachella set into a full-on Hollywood production. It wasn't just a concert. She built a whole like theme around it called Sabrina Wood, with like all these cinematic visuals and costume changes, and even like a film style intro. There were a couple celebrity cameos. If you guys watched the live stream, one was Will Ferrell and the other one was Susan Sarandon, which is so random, but I'm so here for it. Let's watch.
What was that about? Where did that come from? You know, I bet her mom told her that. I wonder what else her mom told her about me. You know, our mom never told us anything about her sister. No. And what's an 8-year-old supposed to figure out when her aunt's a star? Franny likes to YouTube me a lot. She YouTubes me and she brings it to me, and it doesn't even look like I'm in it, she says, because, you know, YouTube is not real.
I think it's genius because, like, I don't know about your mom. My mom loves Susan Sarandon. It's like bringing that generation into the current sort of cultural sphere. And I think it was cool that it wasn't just like a performance at Coachella. It was basically like a movie. It was a full-on like spectacle. Meanwhile, Justin Bieber is just like playing YouTube videos on his stream.
Yeah.
Like, a woman could never get away with that.
No, Sabrina low-key supporting Hollywood.
Yeah.
We appreciate that.
Yeah, she grew up in the industry, you know. All right, next up, there is a new trailer for The Hunger Games: Sunrise on the Reaping, and I watched it today. We'll definitely watch it on Thursday, but it just made me realize that
She says, because
it just made me realize that there are so many people in this cast. Like, it's like stacked. So here's just like a snapshot of the cast. We have Rafe Fiennes. We got Elle Fanning.
Is this the first time Jennifer Lawrence has been back?
Elle
Like,
Fanning. It looks like Jennifer Lawrence and Josh Hutcherson are coming back.
nice.
Jesse Plemons, Glenn Close,
Damn.
Iris Apatow, who I'm assuming is Judd Apatow's daughter. We got Kieran Culkin playing Caesar Flickerman, Maya Hawke, Ben Wang, who you guys might remember from a few different movies that came out last year. Billy Porter. Good for you guys. I'm excited to see this one. This one looks really good.
I did not watch the trailer yet. I think we might have teased the poster for it at some point.
Yeah.
It was giving like midsummer vibes. Yeah, I'm curious. I think I don't want to say they've been like floundering this series because I feel like every movie they release actually does pretty well, but
It does, yeah.
I think there's probably like, especially if they're bringing back some of the originals, there's kind of maybe the potential for like a reset with some big star power, maybe a little kind of a return to form.
Yeah, I just think the last one that came out was set so far in the future or in the past that like there was no real sort of connection to what we know as Hunger Games. And in this one, they're like truly showing us like, you know, the current or the characters that we know and love, but just slightly younger.
Yeah, I rewatched
like story. I'm pretty sure
I rewatched watched for the first time some of the later ones last year, and they're all like they're super fun.
Yeah, I love them.
It was nice to catch up on.
I love them. All right, moving on. Here's the leaderboard for Mogul game. Not any movement from last week. There's definitely scoring happening, but everyone's just kind of stayed put in their spot. So congratulations if you're still in the top 5. If you haven't yet, check out mogulgame.moviepass.com. You can play for free. There's a 100K prize pool. It's not too late to draft your picks and play the game. So yeah, head to mogulgame.moviepass.com, and we will see you on Thursday for some sick trailers.
Thank you for